everyone! Happy Friday! Alpha, how you doing, man? You're looking kind of pink today. What's up there, buddy?
It's supposed to be purple, but I was like, let's have the theme. Let's try to match the purple of like our names.
Okay. It's pretty close. We could change that. We'll make it a little darker. I love the hat though. That is a cool style. It changes colors with whatever your studio is.
Yeah. Wait. That's supposed to be the purple one. Now, if I do that, it's pink. And like, wow, that's the only other. Okay, where is it? You don't want to change that. Look, it kind of looks purple, but it's pink. I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
It's close enough. Hey, either way, it's Friday. It doesn't matter. We're having fun here. So, hey, everybody, welcome back to another Freaky Friday. Now, as you know, we dive into the crypto rabbit hole, find out what's going on, and then the fun starts. Because there's always questions about what's going on in the real world. And tonight's topic is signal in the silence. Because right now, of course, we're seeing the crypto markets consolidate. We saw a nice little pump a couple weeks ago, and now we're just kind of doing this up and down, and everybody's kind of holding their breath. Like, well, what do I do? Should I go this way or that way? Or should I buy? Should I sell? What do I do? So, it makes a lot of uncertainty. And in these times, it's really important to remember that, hey, it's the middle of the summer here. I know, Alfie, for you, it's the middle of the winter time. But what else is there in your life besides crypto? So we're going to dive down the rabbit hole, what other people are doing. And who knows, maybe they're building some crypto projects on the back end. Maybe they're out exploring. I want to find out what you guys are doing and what we should keep an eye out for coming in the next few months. So, without further ado, let's dive into it and get in the crypto side.
Oh, there's always crypto side, isn't there?
There's always crypto side. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I have slacked this week. I spent most of my week out working on motorcycles and doing construction. So, Alpha, you're going to have most of the crypto information this week for everybody. But guys, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat, or if you want something, want us to look up something, toss it in the chat. We'll look it up, we'll talk about it, and we'll find out what we can for you. So, first thing is just announced, I received this email today, and that's why I have some actual information, is Helium Mobile is celebrating their 6th birthday. That's right, 6 years Helium Mobile's been up and running. Whoa. And to reward everyone, they're going to give a 25% off discount for their cell phone plans of Air and Infinity plans for 3 months. Now, 25% is a sizable amount. But on top of that, if you want to get a hotspot, that's right, the 25% off is also for their hotspots. So when you look at the indoor hotspot, that drops the price from $249 down to $187, and the outdoor hotspot from $499 down to $375. And all you have to do is use the discount code BIRTHDAY at checkout, and that will automatically take the 25% off your price.
That's a crazy amount of savings, my goodness. Yeah, it's definitely worth it to get those hotspots now. Yeah,
now I was going to go pick up another outdoor hotspot, and then thankfully, I love our Down Home crypto community because we're always watching out for each other. Catman, dude, thank you so much, because he was watching the Helium Mobile live stream, and he was alerted that the outdoor hotspot does not offload T-Mobile data, only the indoor hotspots. So, okay. Yeah, I was going to pick up another outdoor. I'm like, yeah, I love it. And he's like, dude, it doesn't do T-Mobile. It only does Helium. I'm like, oh. Well, never mind then.
That's depressing.
Yeah, it's like, thanks, man.
That's kind of depressing.
It is. But at the same time, it's still a great discount. And, currently I can tell you that my hotspots, I've got 2 indoors and 1 outdoor, and I'm earning anywhere from $2 to $5 a day across the 3 hotspots, 2 indoor and 1 outdoor. And they're saying right here on the Helium world map, the average hotspot across the world is getting about 18 Helium tokens a month, or about $52 a month. So, really, if that's just the average worldwide, that's not bad.
Damn.
You picked up one of the indoors at the, 187. You'd have it paid off in 3.5 months. You'd ROI. Everything else is profit. Yeah.
Damn.
So the outdoor is going to take you about 7 months. It is. But that's one thing I love about this is Helium has been one of those I've set up. It just continues to earn. I check it every day. It's like, okay, I'll withdraw my 1.2 HNT or whatever. And I just let them stockpile. And I think I'm up to about $160 from the last time I actually sold my HNT. And I'm just kind of let it accumulate. I mean, I've already ROI'd, so I've taken my profits off the table, which is great. We always talk about doing that, strategic investing. But now, with the consolidation everything going on, I'm going to wait. Because I'm really hoping that HNT is going to go back up to some nice numbers. I don't see it going back to the parabolic we saw back in, 2021? That was insane.
early helium days. Back then, there wasn't as many helium miners, so of course it had that potential to just go.
Right.
Now it's like there's a lot of miners, there's a lot of people getting helium tokens, so it's like it's a very different story now. Although you could also, sell some of the tokens, buy some more indoor hotspots here and there. Probably could be a good idea, especially since they have that sale on.
Right, exactly. And I mean, right now we're sitting about $2.84 for an HNT token, but I mean, at its all-time high, crazy, it was at $47. So I mean,
damn.
I would like to see it hit even $10. That would be what, almost let's see, 4x? Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
But I mean, we've been running pretty stagnant all since January 2023. It just kind of stayed. It's had a couple little pumps, kind of down. So it's not doing bad. It's holding a pretty solid floor. So that's one reason I like it.
It is actually. I mean, also looking at that chart, like if you go back to when it launched, it seems to have launched around this price point, which means it hasn't gone below its a listing price, which is cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's initial launch of 0.27, spiked up, and then it was kind of ranging 1.4, 1.2, and then it jumped up to 3, and then it just went stupid.
Parabolic.
Right. But even our low over here is $1.26, $1.40, $1.70. Not bad. So, I mean, we're still holding a solid floor. So, who knows? It could do well. Solid. Maybe it don't. But
actually really solid.
Yeah, it is one thing that I'm... No, we don't. But I am seriously thinking about picking up another hotspot just because even at this rate, I know I can ROI in just a few months. And the rest is just let it run.
It is worth it, eh? It really is worth it at that price. Especially since you have some HNT stockpiles. So it's not like it's going to be that. It's not going to be, oh, I'm putting new money in. It's money that you've made through it already. So it's like, okay.
Right.
If you want to know about that, so what Nexus is talking about, the signals of a noise. And I think I've mentioned Kaito maybe once on stream at some point. So Kaito is a platform, if you don't know about it. It's called InfoFi, where you can basically like get yaps is the internal token kind of thing, whatever. Anyway, we don't worry about the semantics on that. So you have to post about projects on the pre-TGE timelines or whatever, or people that pay like $150,000 to be listed on Kaito, projects, whatever. I know Polygon did it recently. And then everyone has to kind of try to climb the leaderboard to get the most mind share, to be able to get something out of it, basically. So usually the projects that do it, like Polygon is doing it now. If you're like in their top 100, I think, then they'll give you some POL. Yeah, that's a token. POL. They'll give you some kind of reward. Now, obviously, if you just listen to that, you can be like, yeah, people's probably going to bot that. People's going to find ways to take advantage of it. So now the guy decided, okay, I'm going to create something else called Z. Z.fun, I can't remember what it was anymore. And he was like, the whole motto is signals over noise. So quality over noise, because Kaito has become noise.
Right.
At least that's the intention. But when they launched, that was just noise. So it's like, it didn't have that good of a start, in my opinion. But, we'll see how it goes. Maybe Nexus knows a little more about that. But yeah, that's honestly, my first impression is this is just noise. It's more noise on top of noise already. But hey,
and even worse, now MetaMask has brought noise to the table. You guys see this? They actually started doing promotions within MetaMask. So if you go to your MetaMask portfolio, you can actually complete missions and tasks by swapping, bridging, things like that to earn points towards weekly prizes in your portfolio.
I saw that. Yeah, I was like, okay,
right,
cool, I guess.
Will the noise ever stop? I mean, I don't know. Are we seeing the markets change? What do you guys think? Is this a whole new facet of what we expect to see? It's no longer of the DeFi projects, but the bigger places like MetaMask, things like that, are going to start kind of picking up the DeFi areas. What do you guys think?
I think it was an inevitability, honestly. It's always been an inevitability. A good example is Base's new application, literally called Base. Still working on that video. It's interesting, it's interesting editing. I can say that, especially since I'm a perfectionist.
Right, exactly.
Anyway,
it makes it challenging.
So Base, the new application, is kind of also part of this. It falls into the sorts of InfoFi kind of thing, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, but they have a few cool features or whatever. And one of it is where they have like a social feed like X, and every post literally becomes a token on chain. And it's like, okay, it's kind of, you also kind of rewarding that nonsense, basically. It's like, it's noise on top of noise on top of noise. And on top of that, Coinbase has the on-chain summer. I think it's currently live. It's like 3-4 months of on-chain summer, where they'll have like tasks every week of like, oh, do this, do that, mint this NFT, buy this NFT. And you're just like, really?
A step beyond what we call InfoFi. And we got Wild Angel's going to be joining us shortly. And as she was just telling me about the new Base app and what's going on there, they learned that in SheFi. So we'll definitely bring up Nexus and Wild Angel here in a bit. And let's dive back into these topics here real quick.
Yeah,
but what else you got, Alpha, before we...
things too. Still got a few things. So I think I did play the trailer also a few days ago on one of the Ethereum documentaries that just came out. And that's built on Ethereum. Was pretty cool. I still have to give it like a proper watch, but I was like, okay, that's another cool thing. Now that one you can find on YouTube actually, and let's see if I can just bring this on stage quickly. So you can find that on YouTube. It's literally just called Built on Ethereum. I mean, it even has 2025 in the name to signal that, yo, this is 2025.
In case you don't know what year it is.
Yeah, people might come here in 2026 and watch it, so they gotta know.
Right.
Just timestamp it. Videos don't have a timestamp on their own anyway. So it's 38 minutes. I definitely want to give this one a watch, see how it goes and everything. And then there's another one actually, another really cool. How shall we say? This one actually Nexus told me about Vitalik and Ethereum story. So this is just the trailer right here, but this video is also live on YouTube. So if you search for Vitalik and Ethereum story, there's a few things that pops up, but one of them is the actual video. You just have to kind of look. Look for the one that has 75 minutes as the time. So yeah, it's this one here. I think Nexus will have to just double check with me or send me a link. But yeah, that's it's also another really cool one. It basically tells the whole story of how Ethereum came to be, where it started, and it's been 10 years. Ethereum has been around for 10 years, which is insane. We've had the internet computer for 10 whole years already. So all of these kinds of documentaries are just a really cool testament to what we've built and the hundreds and thousands of hours that developers around the globe have put in towards building Ethereum into what it is today and what it will be. I mean, just remember, Ethereum is going to hit that point of 100,000 transactions per second. It's 10,000, then 100,000. By that point, it's going to be more scalable than AWS.
Oh yeah, no, that's what we need, because that's our biggest thing right now with most of your crypto things. If you try to use it for real world activity, you go buy a coffee, you got to wait 3 minutes for a transaction to go through. It's like, no, that ain't gonna fly, or it can't handle the volume of so many people going through. So gas prices end up being more than what the coffee costs, and so things have to change. So it's great to see this type of evolution we're seeing.
And things are changing, which is also. Now, another interesting little tool that I've come across is actually this. Well, various from Monster actually told me about it. Morales Money, their visualization thing for crypto and whatever. But they added a cool thing, AI-powered Web3 intelligence. So you can use their AI and be like, oh, tell me a little bit about this. Tell me about this token. How many holders are there? What was the max? The ATH, the minimums and all of those sorts of things. So I was like, okay, that's cool. For people that trade tokens, I think it's going to be super useful for them. I haven't given it enough tests to see what it can actually do and all of those things, but I'm sure there's a lot of uses for people that like trading or just want to know about the token and don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole of text screener and text tools and yeah.
So the ones that don't want to go do their research, this is like a shortcut, what you're telling me.
Exactly.
Which is most people, honestly. I mean,
exactly. Most of us are like that. It is what it is. We can't all be researchers of the world or top whatever traders. a lot of us are just people that are like, okay, this looks cool, but I want to know a little more about the token before I buy it. Maybe you see on a post somewhere, someone's like, oh, you need to buy this coin because it's going to do this. You're like,
he did that.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, but you got to buy it anyway. What's wrong with you? Don't you know that's how it works? You don't actually learn. You just buy because Bob said so. That's the rule.
No, Bob, don't tell me what to do.
That's right.
Okay, let me go to Morales quickly. Just tell the AI thing, be like, someone said I must buy this token. Tell me about it. And the thing's going to be like, oh, so the token launched here and this many people have it. And then I'm going to be like, nah, it's fine. I don't want it anymore.
Exactly. Like, well, so yes, that is called aping in, and it is unhealthy. And, funny story. I was thinking about that. Was it like Tuesday? I kind of went down this rabbit hole of starting looking back through my portfolio and seeing all these crap coins from, way back and, cleaning out my garage. Been doing a lot of outside work, like I said. And I'm moving ASIC miners. I'm moving hardware. I'm like, am I ever going to use this again? And I really started thinking about it. When I first got into crypto, 5-6 years ago, I had money because I was working constantly. It's like, okay, I got money, but I didn't have the time. So I was buying whatever crap people said. It's like, oh, well, that guy's popular. He's got 50,000 subscribers. I better buy what he said. Obviously, it didn't go well. Yeah, you guys already know how that one went. But now, of course, I have the time, but not near as much money to invest. So I find myself much more cautious. And I found myself investing in things that have a more stable, long return. It's not a quick get rich and get out. And believe it or not, I think I've actually done better in the crypto world now that I don't have all the money to just throw at it. Just being very strategic, taking my time, doing my research and planning it out. And then using my strategic investing practices like we talked about in Rags to Riches. All that knowledge, putting it to place. And even if you got a tiny portfolio, you can build it up. Just take the time. And that's the most important thing is, don't stand back and just blindly throw money at it. Don't ape in, like Wild Angel said, and you can do so much better.
We could. You really could. Now, on that actually, so I know you said you've played this game, Shrapnel, Web3
yes.
RPG type shooter. I'm not in the know about it. So they recently decided to move over to Gala Games. And the most interesting part about this whole transition is there's a list of all the KOLs, well, a quick list of all the KOLs that showed it. None of them have basically stated that it's an ad, except this guy here, Teddy actually, he stated that it's an ad. And that's crazy because we have 9 people here, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's 9 people. Out of 9 people, only one of them disclosed that it was a paid show. One person.
Only one being honest and transparent. Teddy, I gotta subscribe to you, buddy. Yeah, crazy Teddy, I gotta sign up. And
you know, like, what? It's insane. It is insane.
It is. And that's why, that's one of the things I was trying to tell you guys is I will only talk about or promote things that I'm trying. I'm investing in. I've got skin in the game. And so, maybe I don't cover as many things or Alpha doesn't cover as many things as you might like us to cover. But, with limited funds, we got to pick and choose. And so we're only picking and choose what we believe in, or we get an opportunity to review things like that. But I've received several items. I've got a half a dozen devices around me that I just won't do a video on because after testing it, I'm like, no, this just doesn't make sense. For somebody who's trying to scrape their pennies together and make a nest egg, it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to do
it. Yeah, that tends to be the thing, eh? But
right.
We have people like this that will show these sorts of things. They will say, oh, yeah, this is so bloody cool. Look at what Shrapnel's doing. They're moving over to Gala Games. This is so bullish for the game. Why? Why is it bullish? Because you were paid to say that it's bullish? Why don't you disclose that you were paid to say that it's bullish? Because if you did, people wouldn't take your word seriously. And a lot of these people don't have like 1 or 10 or 100 subs or followers. They have tens of thousands. Some of them have 50,000. Some of them have 500 or, the people have a lot of sub followers. And they pushing this out to their followers, just being like, oh, yeah, look at how cool this is. But they're not disclosing that, oh, yeah, I was paid to say this. So maybe take my words with a grain of salt, Maybe, just maybe, because maybe I'm just talking nonsense because I was paid to talk nonsense.
Or at least do your own research, do something. Yeah. Let us know what's going on.
It's amazing how many of them don't even say that. They don't even have the decency to say that. They just say, "Oh, some huge news," and it's funny because I'm sure they all got like a template and they just ChatGPT'd it, and then boom, here you go. This is my post.
And I've tried that, and it never turns out well. I was like, man, that sounds like shit. No, forget it. I just can't do it. And I've played Shrapnel. In fact, when it first came out and it was starting to get hyped up, I bought a couple characters. I bought one of the Supreme pack for like $60, and I bought one of the $10 packs I was going to give away, and it wouldn't let me transfer ownership of it. And so I was going to give that away here on the stream, and it wouldn't let me do it. I'm like, are you serious? But I got to say, last time I played the gameplay, the concept wasn't bad, but the lag, the graphics, everything about it, I was not impressed with. And as you guys know, I game every night. I gamed just before the stream. We jumped in and played a wild game because my daughter, Princess, said, hey, it's game time. I'm like, okay. But, maybe they've gotten better, but it was very 8-bit. The graphics just weren't well. The response wasn't well. So, I kind of put it by the wayside. Still got the NFTs, but I don't know. Hopefully, teamed up with Gala might make it great. I hope it does.
I hope so too. I really hope so too. Maybe they actually doing something, but this kind of comes off as like an acquisition. So, you play games now. A lot of the times when you have a game getting acquired by another studio, it's because something went horribly wrong initially, and now this new studio is supposed to make it better. But usually, what happens is that the new studio makes it worse. So I hope this doesn't happen, because Gala obviously needs games that are popular so that their chain can grow. But the question is, are they going to make it good? Are they just going to be kind of a scapegoat to try to extract as much money out of it? We don't know. That's kind of what we are going to see. We'll find out in the future, however long it takes. Because I know Shrapnel's chart kind of like did that.
It went just straight down. And as a longtime gamer, especially first-person shooters, things like that, what Shrapnel falls into is we are looking for quality and response. It's all about that. Because a split second on aiming, on verifying that it was a hit or not, all that makes a difference. And I was getting a ton of lag. The response time was absolutely horrible before. I would have to get close to something before it would render in, all the things that make a first-person shooter very challenging to play. And, some of the diehard people absolutely love it, and I respect them for that. Me, personally, I was not honestly impressed with it. I tried to play some of the tournaments, and it's like, I'm just can't do it. So I hope it gets better.
And I bet if you had said, oh, I'm having problems with this, they would have told you, oh, no, it's a skill issue. You're not doing things right, because people tend to get defensive in crypto. It's like, why? If we're having a problem, we need help. If we bring up an issue, we need that address.
Don't be like the Moonchain people, please. Please don't do what they do. And say, well, you're just an idiot. And we're seeing that left and right. And right now, it's just like Nick said earlier, it's kind of the Wild West right now, where everybody can do everything. And we're seeing some strange hodgepodge of things. So please be extra, extra safe, because things are getting crazier.
Things really are. Now, on that note, actually, it does appear that perhaps we finally reached a point where we have too many layer 2s. As one of the OG, one of the biggest DeFi things, Aave, how do people say it? I don't know. I say Aave, that's my way.
Aave,
that's your problem. I don't care.
Whatever you want to call it.
So they recently, they tend to go to every chain, every layer 2 out there, because they want to be there. They want to be the place that people go to. Now, funny, they've been deployed. They are deployed on 16 chains, and their most recent chains, I believe, they generate barely 1.5 thousand USD in fees. Barely 1.5 thousand.
For a project, that's not very much.
Yeah, considering the amount of overhead necessary to even go to the new chain. Because that's contractors, making sure the contracts work with the new chain. That's developers, that's development time. That's a ton of hours to get it right. And then if any problems crop up, you have to be there to fix it. That's not a lot of money to be able to cover. I'm not sure what the time frame on this 1.5 thousand is, on this 1.5 thousand is, but it just shows that clearly we've reached a point where maybe, just maybe we have too many, layer twos, maybe. Now, cool point that I did see someone make is that it's more of these chains are trying to be generalists. So we have a lot of layer twos that just come out and be like, oh yeah, we're going to be the next big thing. But they don't have something to be like, yeah, this is why we stand out and why it would be cool for you to use us. We have this one specific use case that could really well work very good for you. As this guy says, undifferentiated chains. Chains need to be competitive. You need to come out and be like, this is what makes us different, and this is why you should use us. Not just, oh, we have high transactions per section, per second.
There you go. TPS.
TPS, there we go. We don't, not just we have high TPS and, oh, we're another layer 2 and we're going to be the next big thing because we say so. You kind of have to come and be like, we're the next big thing because we're the next Hyperliquid. Hyperliquids didn't even need to do anything. They just existed. People came to them. It worked. Abstract, technically, they just existed because they came with account extraction before it was a real thing in Ethereum. That works. Base is by Coinbase, and obviously, that linkage kind of has its own connotations. They differentiated because of that. In-chain by, what's that? Kraken? Is it? Yeah,
Kraken. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I don't know if it's used as much, but that's another one. Technically, they have that user base from the Kraken centralized exchange. Uniswap has their user base from Uniswap as being the biggest layer 2. The biggest DEX in all of crypto. So it's like people are going to go there because they have these names behind it. But what do you have? What do you have?
What do you have that's unique? What problem are you solving? You can't just throw something out there and expect them to buy it or to use it. It's got to give something unique, a benefit, solve a problem, make something easier. And if it doesn't, then it's just more noise. And just like Nexus here is saying, question people should always ask is, what does it do? What does the service sell? A chain is a service. It sells block space. That's what it does. So what makes yours better than Bob's or Tim's or somebody else's? And are you just trying to get a piece of their pie, or are you actually bringing something to the table?
That's exactly it. Most of them aren't really bringing anything to the table. They just believe, oh, because we're a new layer 2 chain, people are going to flock to us. We're going to run some shitty airdrop, and then people are going to be happy, and they're going to come and be like, yeah, no, we should use this chain because they're doing an airdrop. We love this chain so much. And no, we don't. We really don't. We don't care.
We went there to get the free money. That's the only reason we're there.
Exactly. Now, that's the thing, eh? A lot of these chains try to push off the airdrop because they want to maintain those users. But if they put it off too long, the users disappear anyway. So they do the airdrop in hoping that it's going to keep people there and be like, oh yeah, no, we're going to give you something again, maybe in a few months. No. People get the airdrop, they sell, they bounce. That's it. They're done. They don't care about you. They want to go to chains that are already established. They want to go to the arbitrums. They want to go to, some people still use Polygon. People want to go to Base. They want to go to things that are, in the mainstream, people are taking note of. They want to go to abstract. They don't care about your Challo or your I don't know, what's it, linear ZK Sim scroll. They don't care. They really don't.
Exactly. And that's the thing is airdrops can be used appropriately in such a great way, but we see the gamification of them. And we talked about that last week on what Rainmaker did, which still makes me nauseous. I got to do a video on how to go through and claim what little bit you get to keep. But I just can't find the motivation for it because literally it left such a bad taste in my mouth. If you're giving an airdrop to participate, to interact with, to do things like that, that's great. Make it a long-term play, make it something that has a viable outcome. But then, or if you create a product and they've been using it for the last year and they've been building it up and training it, stand behind what you say and make sure that you can keep the followers you've built. But we've seen it go two ways. Either people show up, they try to make a quick buck, get in, get out, and gone, they're done. Because there's nothing good there to offer. Or they go in, they work their asses off to make that project better, and then they skip on the airdrop, and all the people who did all that hard work now turn into haters. And they're like, no, screw you guys. I spent 2 years turning in art, doing all this kind of stuff, and you just screwed me over for 80% of what I was expecting to get paid. Yeah, but we said it wasn't legit on the screen. Then why the hell is it on the screen? Straight up. Why did you even have it? If it's on the screen and then you say, oh, well, it's not real. It's false advertising. It's all kinds of crazy things. I don't want to get into it because, yeah, like I said, I'm still a little bitter on that, guys. I'm not going to lie about it.
Yeah, okay. Understandable.
Right. But if you are in these airdrops, guys, please make a burner wallet to participate in them. Do not use your primary because things can get sketchy quick and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So don't risk your portfolio on some random airdrop from Bob's chain over here.
Or just be like me and constantly get sidelined.
Right.
Get nothing. Who cares? It's fine.
Exactly. But you
One day
stay
get
connected.
lucky.
Right.
One day get lucky. Oh, yes, actually, I see Nix has raised the point about, I keep telling people running your own blockchain is super expensive, let alone a cross-chain protocol or on a bunch of them. Oh, is that referring to Aave? Now,
right.
The point about blockchains being expensive, this is costs coming from Gnosis chain. Mm-hmm. They technically not even a full blockchain because I think they consider it a side chain or something. Etherscan, $400,000 a year. Other chains, $1 million a year. Tenderly, $100,000 a year. Tenderly is for block related stuff. Dune, $20,000 a year. Server costs $600,000 a year. That's how much it costs to run a blockchain.
That's insane.
We are looking at about what, almost 2 million? Because for them it would be like what, 1.2 million or something like that.
Right.
That's a crazy amount of money per year. You have to be able to allocate that amount of money every year. You're looking at least 2 million. If you're not Gnosis, then you're going to be paying that full $1 million for Etherscan because that's basically the one that everyone goes to. And that's a lot of money. You're going to be paying $1 million and then everything else on top of that. So $3 million a year, give or take. That's not paying your people. That's not paying salaries. All of those things are excluded. Right. Don't run a blockchain. You're going to go broke.
Exactly. And Wild Angel says that Maggie from Shifi explained Layer 2 really well this week. I actually get it now. All right.
Cool.
So
now,
do you have something else, Alpha?
Cross the Ages migrated to Solana. I didn't get that thing. My bad. Cross the Ages. Yeah, we can go see it. I forget things, okay? So Cross the Ages. Why are you not giving me like the Cross the Ages account? Thank you. There we go. Cross the Ages is this one. Yeah. They are fully migrating over to Solana and they're going to introduce a few new features after this migration. Well, during this migration, I don't know. But basically, they're saying like, as a result, everything's going to be a more smoother, more powerful experience for the players and fresh opportunities for investors. Cool. I mean, if you do you, I don't know what chain they were on, honestly.
I've not played Cross the Ages. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
I believe they're a card game, so maybe that's why it hasn't been on your radar.
Okay. Could be, yeah. I'm not much of a card game, but I know Crow is. Crow definitely likes the card game style. So
if I remember correctly, Cross the Ages is a lot like what is that damn game about the phrase now again? Think of kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque type thing, something similar to that in essence.
Maybe Magic the Gathering or something.
Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone. It's kind of a mix of different things, but yeah, it's a card game, kind of like stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, everybody's going to Solana.
Yeah, everyone, because Solana fixes it, right? Solana fixes the whole project, obviously. It's going to fix your whole project. That makes so much sense. Now, actually, a lot of things that migrate over to new chains, they do it because the token gets a fresh start on this new chain. If you think about it, if you're on chain X and your token has been going down, so you started at $1 and now it's like at 10 cents or 1 cent or whatever, you migrate over to another chain, your chart starts on 1 cent. There's no history of going from $1 down to 1 cent. It looks fresh. It looks good.
Right. So, hey, it's only a penny. Let's buy a bunch of it. Maybe it'll go up to $1. Right.
Exactly.
Like, so dude, that's it started at $1. It's that's like a bait and switch thing going on there. Damn, it's Wild West out here.
It is the Wild West. Now, another interesting thing. I'm not sure if they will have spoken about this, but there's a new roll-up, a layer 2 blockchain launching called Signet, and they are literally just a roll-up. Now, we are used to layer 2 chains not rollups, not true rollups. True rollup doesn't do anything. It doesn't have the state validation. It doesn't have the data availability and all of those things that we are so used to. Okay, I know most of these terms go over everyone's head, but so I'll just gloss over it. But there's a lot of things that layer 2 blockchains do, which is why they need a sequencer. A true rollup doesn't need a sequencer because it uses Ethereum as the everything. Every transaction immediately goes up to Ethereum, but it does it in a way where it's extending Ethereum without having to take up the TPS of Ethereum the same way that everything else does. As like it's basically like executing a transaction on Ethereum without executing it on Ethereum, but executing it on Ethereum at the same time. And it's confusing, but it makes so much sense.
Everybody got that? Yeah, Alpha, I think you just spun me out, man, and I know what it means. So that was good. That was good.
It's really cool at the end of the day. That's all we need to know.
Okay, we're going to have to do a dedicated video just on that to unconfuse everybody because Alpha just spun everybody out.
Yes.
And BTK, my man, good to see you, buddy. Is Solana just a slow drug scheme invented by Sam Bankman and his buddies? You know, that's a great question, and some people do believe that. I've seen a lot of things going on Solana, so it's really kind of hard to say. I guess time will tell.
Listen, it's easy to do a lot on Solana when the foundation pays you a few $1 million.
This is true. Pay me a few $1 million, I can do a lot of things easy.
Exactly. When you incentivize to do things, it's easy to do it.
Right.
Like Shrapnel got incentivized to move out to Gala. They probably got like 10 million or something for that move.
Oh, yeah.
Who's not going to do it? If someone comes in and be like, yo, I got 10 million for you if you do this.
Right. You do this and we'll take over the project and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Have a nice day. Like, dude, yeah, I'm done stressing and fighting with these people. And they're just, absolutely, later, heading to the island.
You know?
And then the tsunami hits and screws up your vacation.
Sol is one of the Sam coins, but it itself is a functional blockchain. It is simply a highly centralized one. As running a node for it is quite unfeasible, albeit more feasible than an old chain. Very true. Basically, Nix is just saying like, yeah, it's super centralized and you probably can't run a node on it. But maybe if you had really good tech, you could, if you like had $50,000 worth of infrastructure to be able to run, you could do it. But that's why people don't do it, because they don't have $50,000 worth of infrastructure. So it's centralized. You muted.
And it's going to be a long-term play. You're not going to make a quick 3x on that thing. And so it's definitely a central thing. But then again, with the evolution that we're seeing in cryptocurrency, whether it's BTC or Ethereum, things like, they're getting much more centralized. Look at who's buying up all the BTC. Most of your banks, your financial institutions. Make no mistake, as it grows in value and becomes an asset, it is going to be more centralized because the big money is going to want to control it, just like anything else. It is still decentralized. Thankfully, we do have some actions, but make no mistake, there is market manipulation going on. There is price manipulation going on. Every exchange does it. It's out there. And anybody who says it's not, in my opinion, is delusional. They're thinking, oh, it's all rainbows and sunshine. It's like, no. That dude who has $50 billion worth of BTC, I guarantee they're playing some games with it. And they're playing the game because that's how they got $50 billion worth of BTC, obviously.
And often there will be like a large transaction will be OTC. So people that already have a bunch will buy over from people that maybe have like just say 10,000 Bitcoin, they'll buy it OTC. So they accumulate in it, but they're not accumulating their main wallets. They don't even know that they have that extra 10K.
Right.
They're doing it sly, so you don't even know, which unfortunately makes more and more that Bitcoin is heavily centralized in terms of its, holdings, which is sad. And what's also sad is that Bitcoin, because a lot of the big miners, mining facilities are owned by companies, Bitcoin mining itself is also pretty centralized, which is very unfortunate. But at least you can technically run a Bitcoin validator, miner, whatever, with cheap hardware. It's just, you might not hit that block, but at least if you do that, you're contributing towards the decentralization of Bitcoin. I think on ETH, you can actually also run a miner also pretty easily, but you need like 2 ETH. So,
right.
That's a bit.
Now, like Nexus Series says, honestly, the gas for an entire ETH node is more expensive than the infra for the node itself. That is not true for Solana. Solana's infra is quite expensive.
It is, yeah. It definitely is.
And I don't have that much money to throw around, so I haven't even looked at running the infrastructure for it. A couple ASICs here or there, little devices. Like, for most of us, that's what we can do. But these big companies, these big projects and big investors, they're the ones who are running that stuff. And make no mistake, there's a lot of different ways you can do that on your business side for taxes, for write-offs, for expenses. There's a lot of games to be played out there.
It really is. It really is. But, that's not our problem.
Exactly.
Things will get sorted. So, just remember, Ethereum is the most decentralized network because we have 400,000 nodes. 400,000. Not 400, not 4,000. 400,000. Like, I don't know how many zeros after the 4, but a lot of zeros.
5 zeros after the 4. Yeah, 5 zeros after 4. This side. Okay, there we go.
It's not decimal places, it's actual zeros.
Fair enough. Okay, good to know. So, what else we got in the crypto world, Alpha? That's it? Okay.
That's it.
So, earlier, Wild Angel told us that she's been learning some amazing stuff about crypto from SheFi. So, let's bring her up because I want to find out. Wild Angel, how you doing, dear?
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Going good. Happy Friday.
Yay, happy Friday. Oh, my God, yes. I was noon. I'm like hitting a brick wall going, is it 4 o'clock yet? No motivation. No nothing. Just like, can I go work on my puzzle for the next 4 hours?
Just let me play with something soft in a corner. So, you made a comment here earlier. It said, Maggie from SheFi explained Layer 2 really well this week. I actually get it now. So you didn't understand Layer 2, Layer 3, and all that before?
No. Oh, God, no. Okay, all I knew is Layer 1s were like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay? And they're super expensive and super slow. And then we get Layer 2s, which was a lot of other stuff. And they're faster and they're cheaper.
Yeah.
But that's all. That was as far as it got. That was my understanding. Okay. So Maggie actually had some really good images to help us with this. So she had this like road going through like a valley into mountains, and it's jam-packed with cars. Okay, that's a Layer 1. You can't switch lanes. There are no exit ramps. There are nothing. You are stuck. And you have to move at their pace. You get gas. You can buy gas when they let you buy gas because they let a gas station be there. But you're at their mercy. But then she showed us, it kind of reminded me of Seattle and Denver, and where there's all these here's this one, but then off to the side, there's all these roundy rounds, and think Jetsons with all these layers of cars and everything. They're zipping around. Right. You get where you're going to go faster. And it actually frees up some of the Layer 1s by people driving on the Layer 2s.
Okay.
Because it takes that congestion of those main thoroughfares. I'm sorry, think Boise Freeway. At rush hour, you're stuck because there's one freeway out to Nampa.
Right. Yeah, you got 3 lanes, that's it. You're screwed.
You got 3 lanes, you're screwed, yeah. But then you go to Seattle, Denver, all these big cities where they've got all these going everywhere, and it's kind of cool. So it makes sense. I mean, I just couldn't get it.
Okay.
I'm like, Layer 2s, everybody's like, well, picture a fork. A fork? But what does that mean? So the Layer 2s are, as Nexus said, second roads. But, it just makes them faster. It makes them cheaper.
Right.
Because they are faster and they're not as congested. And we pay the higher gas to get our transactions into that block. And we don't have to fight for as much space. We can switch lanes. We can take that off ramp. We can do this and that. And it's really kind of cool.
Nice.
And
So-
now, like with base, it is 14 chains.
Right.
It accesses 14 chains. And so I don't have to find the bridge. Because I'm sorry, I still don't get the concept of bridging. We're talking about that in the next week or two.
Okay.
But why should I have to?
Right.
Exactly.
When there's things like base, why should I have to go 10 miles down the road to find a bridge to cross onto a second road? Hell no, make it easy for those of us that aren't tech savvy.
Right.
So it's really kind of cool.
That's actually a lot of what a lot of security people and a lot of like the main developers are always constantly doing that. They're constantly being like, you need to make crypto easier for people. That's the big thing. I know a developer that I follow, he's a really cool developer, Tohiro. He's always saying, the blockchain is going to be invisible for the common people. And that's the angle that we want. We want it to be invisible. We want it to be where you just open your application, you like, oh, okay, I like this, I want to buy it. Okay, just press a button, buy it. There you go, you're done. You don't worry about the transactions and all of those things, signing your transaction. Maybe it's just a pop-up that says, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, hell yeah. Just and then maybe press a button that says, whenever I do this, just automatically say yes. Things like that will make life so much easier.
Something that's really cool on base. I'm going to try to show you guys if it'll show. There we go.
QR code.
I have a Venmo experience on base.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so what does that do?
That sends me money, or I can copy that QR. Okay, Dreaming Dragon. I want somebody to be able to pay me in crypto. I can send them my QR code, and they pay it to base.
Is there a different QR code for each blockchain, or is it one for all of them?
It's all one. Base is 14 blockchains smudged. They
smudged. I like smudged. That's a technical
and it
term.
works. And it's really cool. It's one wallet.
Okay.
I did not have to KYC. Well, I think I KYC'd back when I did my Coinbase, but when I did this, I didn't KYC. I didn't have to write down a seed phrase. I can get the seed phrase, but it can be face scan. It can be biometric login.
Okay.
I don't have to have a separate password. I don't have to remember a seed phrase. It's bringing crypto to the people, not bringing the people to crypto, because that's where crypto is. Crypto is at a higher tech level. If they don't come down to the masses, it's not going to have universal adoption.
Exactly.
If they can't bring crypto to where the people are. Base, actually, from what I've played with, it's kind of fun. It's social, it's wallets, it's games, it's apps, all of this in one app on my phone.
Nice.
I don't have to go do it. It is designed for mobile. I don't have to go to the freaking computer. Serenity, how many times do you tell me this is easier on the computer?
It is. It's always easier
because
on the computer.
I'm trying to do it on my phone.
So, real quick, I want to hold that thought for a quick sec, but real quick, I want you to let people know if they are trying to learn, if they're a woman in crypto and they want to learn this stuff, tell them about SheFi and why they should look into that.
SheFi is fabulous. It's all about empowering women and non-binary folks. This is a group of women working to make this crazy space more woman accessible, because in general, when you look at crypto space, it is very male dominated, extremely male dominated. But as Maggie is the one in the white shirt, front, I'm pointing at my screen, you guys can't tell me.
The one on the right.
As I'm looking at it, she's in the white on the front. That is Maggie. She created Shi-Fi.
Yeah.
We are in season 14 of Shi-Fi, the Scholars Program. Shi-Fi is amazing. It starts with the basics and builds on those. Yes, it moves fast, but you have lifetime access to Shi-Fi.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And so
it's
this is where you're
amazing.
picking up. So this is where you got your layer 2 explanation that started to make sense to you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually have a cool visualization also. Let me show you. Because maybe
do what?
There's another cool visualization that when you were talking about it, this came into mind. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen something like this before. So this kind of visualizes blocks on Bitcoin
and the buses.
Ethereum.
She talked about buses.
So it's like all these people are transactions that go into the block, and then there you go, the block is off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
she talked about how layer 2s interact with the layer 1s. Like all these ones that are built on Ethereum, built on the super chain, which is something we're going to go into in another couple of weeks.
Okay.
But it makes it faster because it sends a validation block, so a bus, to the layer 1 and puts it on the Ethereum chain. So these buses go to the Ethereum chain versus all these individual cars.
Gotcha,
so how many more transactions does a bus move than a car?
Yeah.
Right.
The technical term, we say blobs.
Right.
Well, I feel like blobs sound cuter, actually.
she was talking. She's putting it in English.
Right.
Yeah.
Layman's terms for people to understand. But let's go ahead and add some technical to this, because I know Nexus has got to have some things to add to this between layer 1 and layer 2, the base and everything else. So Nexus, how you doing, brother?
Oh, chilling, hanging in there, enjoying basking in the wonderful musings of the Shi-Fi folks, because that is a good metaphor. Actually, it's a pretty good metaphor for it. Alpha's all like, no, it's blobs. We call them blobs. And I'm like, well,
to be fair,
some of the developers call them bundles. And
blobs.
Even the Ethereum Foundation documentation refers to what the Arbitrum sequencer does as bundling transactions together.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah, we learned about the difference between trust, then verify, and verify, then trust. We learned to trust by optimism and something else. I can't remember the word, but it's that first we say, okay, yeah, we got this transaction, here we go. Then we're going to verify them.
Oh, optimistic
trust
proofs.
that they're valid. Yeah. And then the other way of doing it. But it's a lot of ways the layer 2s do it. And so it was really kind of cool. I really need to go back and rewatch it before Tuesday. Cool. The nice thing is I can go back and watch these videos of this week's 2 classes and soak it in. And each time I watch it, I get something more. Serenity was joking, maybe next year when we go to Denver, he's going to be videotaping me and we're going to be putting videos out.
Yeah, yes. That sounds like fun.
Yes.
But I'm really starting to get it.
Well, you definitely are. And if you really want to troll any of the marketers of these projects who are building some kind of protocol on the blockchain, you just tell them, well, Web3 is a misnomer anyway, because we're all dependent on central internet architecture.
Right.
So the moment we have until we actually have decentralized access to the service that is the internet, in the same way that we can kind of choose our water, choose our food. Like it's not like that. There's a lot of utility companies that run monopolies, and until we hit that, Web3 itself is kind of a misnomer.
Yeah, and they're legal monopolies because of efficiency. It's
Which
more
is stupid. It's still a monopoly.
But that's how they justify it.
Yeah.
Right.
Justify.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm a
little
novice
shout
on
out
either
to
good
Dutch
thing.
Bros. I had to get my power up on the way home. Their Mocha Mudslide is the bomb. So if you've got a Dutch Bros, check out the Mocha Mudslide freeze.
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna pretend
Okay.
I'm gonna pretend I'm in the US now.
See,
Go
there
to
you go. Alpha.
my one down the road, you know.
Exactly. And
This is a product endorsement. Do not drink this while pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, I'd
Or
be drinking
unstable.
these if I was pregnant. I'd want more.
Yeah.
Maybe just not with the 2 extra shots.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be a
I
little
need
much.
to power up on my way home.
I have my
Why do I
power,
see
but
a picture of like Mario across the screen going through Dutch Brothers? Power up!
So, yeah.
Hold on to Fridays. So next is my man. How you been doing, buddy? How's your world going? Is it just as chaotic, or is it kind of mellowed now?
Turbulent.
Summer, everything's out there.
Turbulence, constant turbulence, constant turbulence. If it's not my relatives giving me craziness about the fact that I need to get a new car, which God knows who among us doesn't these days,
Right?
just making it last and putter long and hoopty mode as many years as I can get out of that thing until the frame is falling off.
Yep. Hey, I love my car. She's what, 13 years old now? 12 years old?
2013.
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
12.
I'm keeping that car
Mine's
till I die.
2004.
Oh, yeah. I was driving this old 2002 Tacoma. I drove it until the frame was literally rusting out from underneath it, and one good speed bump, and the whole thing just falls apart in the middle of the road. So I've decided we need to retire it. So I'm borrowing a different relative's car if I have to get around, but otherwise I don't really need to get around that much anyway. So I can usually catch lifts if I need to go somewhere important. But
That works.
Otherwise, there have been more hacks because, of course, when do the hacks ever slow down? There was a decentralized smart contract-based exchange built on the Avalanche network. They got smacked for about 6,000 Avalanche tokens, which was basically like the whole of the liquidity that was spread across a bunch of different tokens on that pool. The hack was achieved by manipulating the fact that each of the tokens was built to a very unique and weird Avalanche token standard. And that meant that the contracts talk to each other differently than a regular like ERC20 on Uniswap will talk to Uniswap and make trades happen. So the hacker exploited this reality and used basically flash loans on Aave to then manipulate how much money these smart contracts thought was in any of them at any given moment. And once he basically, for about the 60 seconds required to try to do this, he would basically get a bunch of Avalanche from Aave, flash loan to him, so it's accumulating in interest rates, costing him money to borrow it. And then using other Avalanche that he had already acquired, set aside to spend expressly on this purpose, he would then brute force the token trading contracts. He would basically try to swap over and over and over and over again, and eventually what he would do is he would get the conditions just right so that he could twist the smart contract safe, open the safe, pull out all of the liquidity, dump it basically into his wallet, and then he would close the safe, close the contract, withdraw any unused gas, create a new contract, and then start all over. He was clearly just going down the list of tokens that this DEX traded. And he was just going down the list. And by the time he was done, 6,700 odd Avalanche or so was stolen from a bunch of people who were holding various tokens on this exchange. It was just built by 2 or 3 different people. They had no idea that this vulnerability existed, and the CEO considered getting it audited, but the price quotes were really expensive. He didn't feel like he could afford to do it, and they thought it was safe enough. They went to mainnet, everybody's money flowed in, and between $200,000 and $300,000 was stolen. Now, my understanding as of today is that they messaged the attacker on the blockchain, and the attacker responded. So there is now some kind of dialogue that has been established with the hijacker of these currencies. I don't want to say more because I don't want to jeopardize the negotiation, but otherwise the communication lines have been opened and established with the person who stole money. That in and of itself feels like a small victory, because so often there's no way to talk to these people. But so there was a small win that was scored there this week.
Swim with
no
fishies.
fishies.
Go get the big fish needs to go get the little fish.
Right.
That's right.
Damn.
And that's important. It sucks that these happen. In fact, next I ran into something just before we went live, and probably gonna have to talk to you after this. I've been running an anyone router. I did a video on it a while back. To run those nodes, you have to hold the anyone token in your wallet. Not a big deal. For some reason, my MetaMask popped up, and I saw a bunch of the little red number it has over the screen, and I was like, what is that? So I clicked that, and I looked into it, and it was when I was getting ready to share the whole mission for MetaMask, and I realized that all my anyone tokens had been sold to USDT. They're still in my wallet, but I'm like, why did that happen? What is going on? And this was like 5 minutes before we went live. So right after the stream, I've got to dig into it, find out what happened, and disconnect everything.
Oh, that's really disconcerting, sir.
Right.
That's really disconcerting. Your money is still in your wallet, right? Like that's.
Actually, I transferred it to a different wallet on a different seed phrase as soon as I saw that. Like,
okay,
I'm
good.
just gonna send it.
All right, no,
it's
that's
not a lot,
even
but
better.
for me, it's
Well, hey. No, I don't care how much it is. I was just like, as long as it's still yours, as long as it's just still your money right now. Yeah.
Yes, I immediately moved it, but that was just really weird. So, guys, keep an eye on your wallets and make sure to disconnect them, because otherwise you're going to be doing like I am, saying, Nexus, man, I may have screwed up, but I don't know. I don't know how to research this stuff. So, Nexus, if somebody does think something happened with their wallet, something like that, is there any pointers, suggestions you could give them on who to reach out to or what to look for? Some safe practices. What do you suggest, brother?
Yeah, it depends on how severe the situation is. If it's just like, I just signed something, I don't know what happened, I don't know what I signed, I don't know what it does, you can go to revoke.cash. Saying it again, revoke.cash. Now there's a bunch of places pretending to be revoke.cash. So be sure you are going to the actually true revoke.cash. And you don't even need to actually connect your wallet to the real revoke.cash. You can put in a public address, and it will diagnose for you. It will tell you, here is what you have approved. Here is the signing that you've done. Here are some scary signatures you might need to be aware of that you should look at. It'll diagnose and tell you sort of what is the situation. And then if you sign into it, connect your wallet to Revoke Cash, what it allows you to do is revoke those signatures, revoke those approvals if you have a reason to be concerned, because some contracts can change after you set up an approval. So that's one of the reasons why you might want to do this. Best crypto practices for managing a large amount of money, which definition of large varies person to person. So I'll just define it as if it feels like a lot. Okay.
That's a good way to do it. I like that.
Yeah.
That's what Maggie says.
Yeah. If it feels like you're managing a lot of money, then the best practice is actually to regularly revoke all approvals, even for trusted contracts and contracts known to be trustworthy. Simply because there is a possibility that they might become untrustworthy in the future. And that possibility leaves you with a slight security risk if that approval or permission or signature affects any tokens that are held in the wallet, right? Because if it's an approval relating to tokens or token trading, then any tokens of that type you hold in the wallet might be affected by it.
Right.
Maggie also preaches that if you've got a lot of crypto, and like Nexus says, that depends on everybody. For me, some of Serenity's stuff is like, oh, that's a lot to me. She says, get a Ledger wallet, get a Ledger, or there's another one she talks about.
Just not the Nano S.
Never keep myself for Ether people.
She says, never, ever, 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 ever buy a hard wallet from a third party. Even if it's Amazon, anything like that, buy it. You have to buy it directly from Ledger because you don't know if it has been
tampered with or compromised.
Yeah. Never, ever, ever buy a hardware wallet from a third party. Always buy it directly from the source.
Refurbished wallets are like the next level of scam because if they were like tampered with, imagine you buy your cold wallet. It's a real cold wallet. It acts like a cold wallet, but then you store like 10 Bitcoin in it, and then a week later you come back to it and it's like, yo, it's empty. There's no money in here. You'll be like, how did that happen? Well, the answer is because it was a compromised cold wallet. Basically, it was watching and broadcasting back to a centralized server. Everything you were doing, it broadcasts any keys you hook into it. It broadcasts all of that fun stuff.
And I didn't know that was a thing until Maggie told us.
Lots of people.
And she said it over and over.
Absolutely, it's a thing.
Probably because she got burned by it or has seen it happen.
Yeah.
Now, the alternative to buying it direct from the manufacturer, if you live in a place where shipping and handling is expensive, the alternative is you can kind of use trusted retailers as middlemen to order these products. Like in the US, we have a store called Best Buy. Best Buy will order cold wallets and sell them to you. It's actually really funny to me because every time I go to my local Best Buy, I always walk by their cold wallet section just to see how it's maturing and changing. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the years go by, and it's always empty. It's always empty. And I'm always thinking, you would think, but I always get a little suspicious. Like, do I have a Smurf in my town who's like buying these to crack them open or resell them with knowing the key, right? Because there's those are the two ways they'll steal from you, right? They'll like, oh, this cold wallet has this key. Okay, well, I'll just write this key down and then put it back in the box, seal it, and sell it like it's a new product.
Right. And she said, even if you get one as a gift, tell them, I'm sorry, I can't take it. I'd rather you
because you don't know where they got it,
and I will buy it.
Yeah, you don't know where they got it, and if they're I'll accept a gifted cold wallet if you give me a receipt. All right, if you give me a retail receipt that shows me where you got it, I might accept it. But even then, I saw Angel grimacing a little because it's like, well, in the era of AI, how easy is it to fake a document like that? It's not that hard.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy.
Mine was gifted, but it's by someone who I've custody the funds for a long time, so it doesn't matter. It's like, I custody your funds. What you going to do, steal mine?
Well, I was helping one
action.
famous South African crypto founder with his situation. And there was a point during the conversation where he told me he needed 6 cold wallets. And I said to him, wait, 6? Why did you need 6 cold wallets? That doesn't make... How much money are you actually making? And he was like, oh, no, it has nothing to do with how much money I'm making. The first 5 didn't work. And my next question was, well, hold on a second. Are you sure they didn't work? Or are you sure? Or did you just not know how to use it?
Was it an ID10T error?
Yeah,
I think he was getting a lot of errors just like that. Yeah,
ID10T error.
Yeah,
ID10T error.
Like in your brain nexus, and you understand.
The problem is between one ear and the other ear.
Write down ID10T.
I put it in the private chat.
Oh yeah, classic, a classic. And what makes that fun? What makes that sort of extra fun is that he says, "But don't worry, mate. On the 7th one, I got it working."
What? Okay.
How does that even make sense?
So is G-Fi.
Then we need a he-fi.
Bro needs to I don't know. I think he needs to become non-binary so he can go to Shi-Fi, please. Honestly, like I feel like that's what he needs. He needs to solve his ID10 errors.
Right.
Well, he'd go, but he wouldn't go to learn about money. He'd go to try to meet women who want to learn about money. So I can't, in good conscience, I can't send him. You guys, I'm sorry.
Right. No. We appreciate that.
Thank you for that.
You know what? Send him my way. I'll slap him right.
Yeah, no. That guy, I literally am like, look, here's your wallet. Here's the strip club. You just putter on over there, okay? Like you go where you're wanted.
You go
We don't need to. Yeah.
And you know that thing is, so I was going to ask you next is because one thing that I know Wild Angel told me about the other day is they were talking about Gnosis safes.
Yes.
You were saying,
A what?
Yes.
a Gnosis safe.
Gnosis.
Yeah, I actually wrote an article. I wrote an article as a collaboration between Ledger and Boring Sec and Intelligence on Chain about Gnosis safe management. It's kind of an awkward thing, but basically, for those who may not know, Gnosis safes these days I think they just want them called safes because the company is called Safe Multisig now, basically, but. Gnosis is like a branding holdover from the good old days when they were like a much more decentralized sort of tech cypherpunk kind of project. Okay,
but I didn't know that part.
Good old days.
Yeah. But in essence, what a safe multi-sig actually is it's a novel way for disparate parties to manage a single crypto wallet.
That's what we were talking about is multi-sig.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
There we go.
I'm just using an old term. My bad. I'm old.
Yeah, the older term. We just called it safe back in the day because it's a multi-sig.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now we're on the same page.
Yeah. So essentially, the way it works is they're highly customizable and highly programmable. But a safe multi-sig wallet is, in essence, an Ethereum wallet with multiple wallet owners with their own wallets that are required to tap into it in order to manage it. And all of the details surrounding that varies based on how each group or team or organization, or in a few cases, decentralized autonomous orgs, set these up. And the way they're set up is actually very important, because it contributes or takes away from how safe and secure the multi-signature wallet actually becomes. Take, for example, a decentralized autonomous organization with millions of dollars in assets under management that they've got. Could be their treasury, could be the protocols, or some combination of these. Usually their multi-sig wallet plays a very important role in how the money moves throughout their protocol ecosystem, because that they need to kind of babysit it to make sure that, the investors aren't being robbed, that the system's working as intended, all the moving parts are operating in perfect harmony. So the way the multi-sig runs is there's a bunch of money in it, but in order for a move to occur, 5 out of 6, for example, of the multi-signature signers are required in order to officiate an actual transaction. Without all of those signers all together actually doing an on-chain crypto signature into the wallet, then the transaction cannot fire. And this, in a sense, allows teams of disparate people from disparate places to operate a single fund almost democratically in that way. It's very raw, because there are the reason for doing this too is obvious. If your chief developer gets hacked and his crypto key is compromised, then he can start doing all sorts of crazy messed up stuff to the contracts and the protocol that he is whitelisted to change. So a multi-signature wallet puts a giant barrier up that's like, okay, the founders wake up the next day and the dev is frantically messaged everybody all night. Yo, I got hacked. My key's been phished. Everything's like we're under attack. But the CEO and the team can look at the multi-sig and just see a ton of transactions that are trying to fire, but they don't have to fire any of them. They don't have to sign a single one of those.
And they can just like a firewall.
Yes. But that multi-sigs, yeah, but multi-sigs also have risks at the same time. Let's say I'm a really small project and there's only 3 people on my team. All 3 of us are signers on the project. Well, if 2/3 of my team decide, this guy's screwing up, we're taking all the money and we're leaving, then they could do that. Another problem that happens commonly enough these days is one of your signers dies. And I don't mean like murder or lasciviousness or true crime stuff. I mean like, he got in a car wreck. Like he was taking his bike to work and he got smashed on this pavement. Like he was riding a plane to a conference and the plane crashed. Like a person dies. In that situation, if they don't have a pre-planned successorship for their wallet and their keys with instructions on what needs to happen with all of that stuff in order for a project to keep going, then that right there can brick an entire ecosystem. Because if that person dies with no family, no one was there to know where their keys were kept, and it's just like crypto wallets on a computer that no one on Earth has the password to anymore, well, now we're all in a big bind. Like it's a serious bind. The most famous instance of this would be the exchange Quadriga CX, which was a big multi-billion-dollar Canadian Bitcoin exchange that existed in the times of Mt. Gox. It was run by a guy named Gerald Cotton. He goes to India on a sort of a mission trip sort of thing one day, like exploring the ways that crypto and blockchain tech could help like developing nations and countries. Okay. And he's doing a 12-day tour where he's got a real curated look at like certain parts of Indian infrastructure. Well, it was on like day 3 that he gets hospitalized for some kind of stomach issue. And he absolutely does not come out alive of the Indian hospital. And he was the only person who had the keys to the Bitcoin that the exchange operated. Ooh.
Oh,
So
shit.
yeah, so
Duck.
his wife is like being blasted like by all these people who are like, yo, your husband has my money. What are you gonna do about our money? All of our money in Quadriga. What do we do? And the wife is just like, yo, guys, like, we're trying to settle these affairs, but like, he did not tell me where he keeps the keys to the cold wallets. So I do not know where those keys are, and I do not know how much Bitcoin the exchange has under management. Like, I don't know. And years would go by from the man's death before this whole situation would be resolved. But the wife and some estate attorneys and all sorts of people sort of combing through his effects and affairs did manage to get the keys. They did manage to eventually open up the wallets, and there was no money.
How was there no money?
He pulled a Sam Bankman-Fried. He didn't tell anybody. He stole all the customers' money, lived a lavish lifestyle, and when he died without telling his wife that he was a fraud. They stole everything.
Oh my god.
You would think she would start asking questions, like something doesn't seem right here.
No, she thought he was just an eccentric tech bro. And honestly, like, given her exposure to his world, like from the documentaries and the interviews that she's given after all of this, I believe the wife. I don't think she knew a dang thing about what he was actually doing. But by the time he had died, there was no more money. Like they had already looted all of the money. Ooh. Like, it was paper Bitcoin, as they say.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
the poor Canadians were trading paper Bitcoin.
Oh, that's scary.
But
that is
wow.
How did they?
That's why the wife knows where my seed phrase are.
I know where all his phrases are. I know where all his seeds are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm confused. How did they not know that the wallets were empty? Like, didn't they check on chain, or was it like, I don't know, like, how did they not realize
in 2015 to 2016 there wasn't a wide vast availability of easy to use block scanners. In order to actually read the Bitcoin blockchain, you needed to actually be able to sort of go wallet by wallet, like using the data on, like, we're talking the 1980s level of Bitcoin access here. Like, you're using a command line.
Okay,
like it wasn't easy for like a regular person to just go, I'll just type my Bitcoin wallet into the block scanner and it'll tell me exactly how much Bitcoin I have. Like, it's
this is why Serenity and I have each other's keys, our authenticators, everything backed up with each other.
Yeah.
Because if a phone goes down, if a computer goes down, God forbid something happens to one of us.
And that's the key person risk. And that's the key person risk writ large. When you're building a business, if any component of your business is based upon one guy or one woman having a very specific kind of access to a very specific thing, you have to do some disaster planning as to, okay, well, what happens if my, chief engineer gets hit by a bus? Like, do we still have the ability to run this business, develop this business without the engineer's keys?
Mm-hmm.
And it's morbid, but you got to do it. I mean, I've run a couple businesses in my life, and I always had a backup plan. What happens if tomorrow I jump my motorcycle out riding and I get hit by a truck and it's over? It's like, okay, they've got to have access. They got to know. In fact, I was talking to Wild Angel last night. I was like, hey, I need to show you exactly how I'm going through claiming all these miners. And you're going through that process, just so in case, God forbid, something does happen, the funds aren't gone.
Somebody
They're not
else
lost.
knows, yeah.
And these custodians,
got to do it on Saturday when I have a brain.
Oh, yeah. And these custodians like Swan and others, they're making a killing off of handling and managing this exact element for people. not just businesses and enterprises, that's where they're making their real money, but from individuals who were wanting essentially a dead man switch. That's like, okay, if my husband dies, I don't need to know anything about Bitcoin. I will be able to access his Bitcoin fund.
Right.
Yep.
There you go. Whole new business venture. We got to start one of those.
This is why,
wallet.
you know, back in the 50s and 60s, men would die, and women would be like, what do I do? Because men handled all the money, men handled the checkbooks, men did this. And
women weren't even allowed to have checkbooks of their own.
Right. Believe it or
own.
not, there are still countries where women are not allowed to have a bank account. That is part of why
I tell people this all the time. It's so important. It's so important.
This is why SheFi does what she does. We have people from all over the world. It's like 120 countries. And so women can manage their own funds. I mean, because you can have an account on Kraken, you can have an account on Coinbase or whatever, and it's not restricted by what the state allows.
Right.
It's outside of the state's ability to understand most of the time. That's quickly changing, though, in a scary way.
But at least at this point, it's not restricted. Anybody can have a wallet. And that's good and bad, but anybody can have a wallet. You don't have to go to the government and say, can I have a bank account, please? No, you're a woman. You can't have one. I mean, you don't have to deal with that.
I want to see him tell you that.
That's what makes it such an important
Right?
human rights tool. Like, even if all somebody wants is access to some dollars on chain, well, now they've got 10 different stable coins to choose from, and they'll all do the same job.
Yep.
Exactly.
Alpha, what were you saying?
One of the wallets I have, Zengo, actually has a way where you can set up someone. So if in the event you die, they take ownership of your wallet. So it will automatically transfer the ownership over, basically. You know, like the person probably has to be like, oh, this person died. Then the ownership will be transferred over. I think they call it like legacy or something like that. Very cool.
Facebook has that.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
There you go. We're making plans. So, guys, we have gone the entire stream and never even got to the topic, which is cool. I like this. We're definitely having fun. But I'm curious. So, as we wrap it up tonight, because it is about
there
that
was
time.
a ton of signal in this stream. I don't know what you're talking about.
A lot of it. All signal, no noise.
Right.
There you
exactly. Go. See, I like that. I'm curious, what have you guys been doing this summer while the markets are doing their whole consolidation thing? What do you got planned to accomplish before the weather turns cold here in the U.S. or maybe Alpha when the weather turns warm in your area? What have you guys been up to this week?
Oh.
Not letting the scammers win.
Yeah!
Unfortunately, most of what I do is around crypto, so it's like that's a terrible question. Like, I'm literally always at home or crypto. Like, and I mean, I'm at home and I'm on crypto. Or if I'm not at home, it's just me going to take my fiance to go get the transport. And I mean, this week I did a lot of shopping because I was like, okay, what do I need to buy for the month? And then I'll go check what the shops have and be like, okay, I can get these here, but I have to go to this store maybe tomorrow to go get the rest of the stuff over there. It's like, that's what I've been doing for most of the week because, it's month end. People just got paid. So we got to sort that stuff out. And I'm the one that does all the groceries. So I've mostly been doing that. And then I've done a bit of coding here and there. I'm actually looking at trying to figure out something now using something from Dune. It's called Sim. So I want to build a Discord bot. It's basically going to be like a project kind of thing where people will be able to maybe enter their wallet address and it will spit out all the NFTs. It will give them like a list of all the NFTs in that wallet, but maybe they can do it by say, project. So I'll do one for people can put their wallet address in and be like, okay, I want all my NFTs that I have from Monstro, and it will show all Monstro NFTs or from whatever. So like, it's just a fun little thing that I want to do just because like it's cool. Like it's really, I like it. It's just for the fun of it. It just sounds cool.
You know, there is a world out there besides just crypto and computers. You do realize that, right?
I do, but
just checking.
I'm what we call a lonely loner. I like being alone. I like being a loner, and I'm always on my own.
See, what you need is an anti-depression device on wheels. That way you can transport.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if I had a car, I probably would be on the road.
As you guys know, we love Project Duck Depression, and to help support them, for those who don't get out enough, maybe you haven't like Nexus, your car's broken down, need some problem. We put our ducks on wheels. So this week we're starting to offer ducks on wheels. That way we keep your depression on the go, and no matter what, you've got transport. That's what
it even has a spare tire. It even has a spare tire.
Okay, so who came up with this idea?
These were the ducks that I found that weren't here last week. They showed up on Saturday.
Oh, actually,
I had to start sharing them.
So there's that. I did spend some time outside of the house. I went out on Saturday. You know, it was cool.
No way. Did you burn?
I actually went out. I didn't burn. We went out at night.
At night. So I've actually spent most of the week working on motorcycle stuff because I shared with you guys I got my bike and stuff, got her all running. Then went through my old bike, been working on that with my son, and then through the wife's bike. And so, yeah, I ended up, 3 days working on motorcycles, back of my neck's all sunburnt because I'm bent down. And so I urge everyone, please take a little time. Alpha, go out during the sunlight. Remember, you're not a vampire. It's not going to set you on fire. You're okay.
It might. There's always a chance. 50-50 chance when you walk out, you might just die from sunlight. Probably.
Well, so make sure your fiance has your seed phrases, your keys. Otherwise, she's going to be getting a hold of us. It's like, hey, how do we get
acting like he's contracted porphyria.
It's kind of scary, huh?
Well, I have not been doing a whole lot of crypto stuff. It's all just been trying to get through Shi-Fi. But Dreaming Dragon is doing its first craft show on Tuesday nights. We're having a community night out for National Night Out. And they're going to close off some roads. We're going to have a few craft tables and stuff. Ow, Joey left me a big prickly thing. Ow,
thanks, kitty.
That hurt. But so one of the things I'm putting on my table, and you got to see one of the little fishes, but it's a fishing game. There's the bobber. I'm still working on the fishing pole, so this would be on the fishing pole. And they're magnets.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. That is so cool.
They're little kids. And they're just cute little fish. That's a little bit for goldfish, but so that's one of the things. But yeah, we're kind of excited. This is Dreaming Dragon's first craft fair. So
yay.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to do that.
That's what I've been doing.
I just need to learn to knit. Then Serenity will say I am doing something. Then you can't
Alpha, I do teach.
Ooh, there you go.
It's called video. I can teach.
I
have taught. I was the education coordinator for Joanne Fabrics for a while. So
Alpha Cruz is going to turn seamstress on us. I'm waiting for it.
That makes so much sense, Wild Angel.
Doesn't it? So? But yeah, it's a little pond.
That is so cool, though.
And I did some water bottles with crochet covers and some macrame keychains. And Alpha, I did this huge cat bed, 2-layered cat bed that's macrame that hangs on the wall. Yeah, traded it to my nail tech for a couple of full sets and nail art.
Get the picture. Did you get the picture?
So I'll have to send you a picture. Yeah, yes. It was huge. It was about $300 value that I traded. So, or that I'm going to be trading. She's got the cat bed, but I get whatever I want. So
careful.
Good
Yeah.
trade. Good trade.
Read the
And
fine
she
print on
does
that one.
like 3-dimensional nail art and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool. But
Nice.
yeah, so that's what I've been up to. You're muted,
You're
Serenity.
muted.
He muted himself.
I
He
did.
does
yeah,
it all
he
the
does.
time.
So,
He will be
Nexus,
like,
what have you been doing
"Hello."
out and about, brother?
Oh, I went to a reggae show this week. That was nice. Had a lot of fun there.
Awesome.
Always down to see some live music. That was how I touched grass. But
Good for you.
Went to a
See, Alpha,
reggae
even
show.
Nexus made it outside, man. Come on, there's no excuse for you, buddy.
Yeah,
I made it outside, okay? Might have been at night.
During the
I made
day.
it outside.
He went out with people and interacted. You ought to try that sometime.
Right.
I was
did
out
that.
for
You're
so
so
long. I
ready.
got a
We were like-
sunburn.
We were like 8 people, okay? It's a lot of people. And we went into clubs. So it was like it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. I need a break, you know. Like I need like another week just to like recover from that, you know, before I can deal with
One
people
outing, and
again.
he's just like, I gotta lock myself in. I can't handle the people.
But I'm gonna go touch grass with my friends again the end of the month. We're probably gonna get
End
together,
of the
get some like, you know, do some braai things, just chill with maybe some, I don't know, cool drinks and chips and fire and just like roast marshmallows or
Fire!
something.
You know the
You
month
know,
just
Nexus?
started, right?
That really sounds like agoraphobia to me.
Yeah, I think so. So let's wave off on some positive. What are we going to do this weekend, guys, to make it fun? Except for Alpha Cruz, because he's just going to lock himself in a room. Nexus, what do you got planned for this weekend? Anything exciting, buddy?
I wish. I'm gonna try to stay sane as it feels like the world burns around me.
It is pretty much, yeah. It's about accurate. How about you, Wild Angel?
I'm going to finish my fishing game and write up the game instructions in English and send them to Google Translate for Spanish.
Ooh, I like that.
Well,
So,
we have a
you're-
large Spanish community here, Spanish-speaking community, and a lot of them don't speak English well. So if I translate the instructions, it makes it more user-friendly.
I like
And then
it.
Monday, I'm going to take it to one of the people at work who speak Spanish and have them double-check Google Translate.
Read this. Does it make sense?
Exactly. Because we all know
Why does
Google.
it say don't be an idiot? I don't know. Translate told me to. Okay, Alpha Man, you
Yeah.
got to do something. You got to get out. So what can you do this weekend to go out, touch some grass, and at least try to interact with people during the day?
During the day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Touch
Could
some
probably
grass.
go
Go
pop
for
out.
a walk.
I feel like I could go for a walk. A walk would be good. Would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Coco
Be a
would
little
love a
fun.
walk.
Take Coco
He's
for
gonna
a walk.
run away from me. He's gonna
Get a
run
leash. Get a kitty leash. Take Coco
away.
for a walk. You're fine.
Oh, he's not gonna be happy. He's not gonna.
Fair enough. So
But I do
Okay,
have a dog.
well-
I could do it. Take him for a walk. I'm sure you'll like
there you
it.
go. See, go out, touch some grass. Because remember, guys, time is finite. You know, there's lots of money. There's lots of crypto projects. There's lots of problems we could be solving, but we only have so much time in this life. So make sure to capitalize on it and tell the people you love how much you love them. Let them know because tomorrow is never a guarantee. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Make sure to jump in the Down Home Crypto Discord, get to know all these great people, and stay there. Wow, English. I lost my whole flow. I hit a train.
Just
Be
stay
safe.
English.
Stay English. Stay safe out there. Love you guys. We'll catch you next Friday. Have a great night.
Bye.
Good night. Have a great week.
Beautiful